Right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody makes wigs, not just women, but this video is focused on you using the correct cap for wig making. Now, a lot of people on Instagram, YouTube, they are using these two types of caps. I am one of the persons who used to use these caps as well. This is a mesh dome cap, and this is a regular weaving cap. Both of these caps are they're widely known to be used to make wigs, but there is also a cap that most people don't know about, which happens to be this one. And I think it has a lot to do, same as me, with the fact that they see there's plastic there and they're not exactly sure how the heck to use this particular cap, especially if you are still doing hand sewn wigs. When I mean hand sewn wigs, most people use one of these two caps to hand sew this wig. This wig is going to be deconstructed and reconstructed on that particular cap. So this is to give you an idea of what I mean. So you're using the wrong caps, and the reason why I say you're using the wrong caps when it comes to fit and mass production, these caps have some issues on the inside that could not necessarily be bad. I mean, I've been doing this for a number of years now, and I know exactly how to make these wigs using these two caps, but you are applying something that does not stretch to something that does. And this happens to be, these two caps happen to be caps that stretch. And when you stretch them as you're using your sewing machine to create them, they are causing some rippling. So this can happen. Even though this actually fits very well on a mannequin head or on the person's head, a lot of times when you turn it on the inside, you just don't want to see this rippling effect. Not only that, there are people who feel that this is not breathable enough for them, especially if you're dealing with people who deal with hair loss and they're dealing with other hormonal issues. And I'll give you an example: menopause. So just to let that be known, or those who are athletes and they sweat a lot in their head. So that's something to think about. But this is usually what happens when you're a beginner. This wig was made so many years ago, and now I've upgraded to what I use. So with that said, these two caps, not that they're bad, it's just, in my professional opinion, they are not the best caps to make if you are going to be a custom wig maker or you make wigs, manufacturing wigs. We want to start to use these wigs. I'll show you why. So here's an example of a wig that is completed with a 4x4, or you can use a 5x5 closure. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So you see that the stretch we really need is here. It gives you a nice amount of stretch from ear to ear as well. But it fits well, and it fits for all head sizes between sizes 20 circumference to 24, because most people think to make wigs you have to know head measurements or you have to have these detailed measurements, and the truth is all you really need is circumference. That's all that it's needed. Unless you're making custom wigs specifically for a hair loss client, then that's where customization really comes in. But if you just like to make wigs and you can produce as many wigs as you can, or you're dealing with a manufacturer, most of the time this is really the best for those who are at home sewers. So you can see this is a lot professional. You've seen these type of caps when you go to a wig shop or a store and you purchase a wig. Doesn't matter if it's human hair or synthetic hair, this is what the inside of the cap looks like. Now in most cases the wefts are a lot closer together to make them a lot fuller, but this is a sample one that I use to teach my courses and to help people understand spacing when there's learning first. So that's what that's for. Here's an example of a wig that is constructed with that same cap using a ear-to-ear closure. So as you can see, the ear-to-ear closure works with it. You can cut off the remaining and do whatever you need to the closure. Doesn't matter what type of closure you're using. And you can add in more hair if you need to. You can do your spacing however you like. But this is breathable and it's one of the best to work with. Just to give you even more detailed information about these caps, if you notice, this is what it looks on the inside. One of the tricks that I have tried before, and it just did not work with this one, is when you put a wig in hot water, this actually melts off. Unfortunately, this cap did not do that. So it's nothing to it but to take these white threads right on out of it, and it releases the plastic from the cap so that the person can wear it. So that's just giving you a better understanding and detail about using the correct caps if you are going to be producing a lot of wigs. If you are a custom wig maker and this is about your business, you need to know what caps to use so you don't have to worry too much about all fitting and numbers and all of that. This fits for head sizes 20 to 24. 20 is for someone who has a small head and no hair, or a person who has an average size head but they, braid their hair down. 22 is the most average, and that's used the most in manufacturing, just so you're aware of that. So this cap works for that. And then those who have a lot of hair, 24 is probably the circumference they would choose, or a large in that case, because this actually molds to the person's head depending on how they prep their hair before they put their wig on. So guys, you're using the wrong caps. That's just my way of saying it, but that doesn't mean they're predominantly all that bad, because look, this is still professional work. The only issue is people have this going on, and that can get quite irritating. So it's better to use this particular cap. Stop using these caps for your clients.